Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Walking Dead video for today after that huge Walking Dead Season 8 finale. In this one, we're going to give our thoughts on whether or not we think Maggie and the Hilltop could end up being our villains for Season 9. Will we see a Walking Dead Civil War? And spoiler warning, as per usual, if you guys are not caught up for The Walking Dead, which means if you haven't seen the finale yet for Season 8. So, starting up with the Season 9 videos, getting into the regular swing of things, got lots of new content coming for you guys. This week, of course, after that big finale, and also for Fear. If you didn't see, I'll have it in the end screen videos. In this video here, we did a review for the finale. We did a review for Fear. We did a discussion topic video about whether or not we thought the finale was disappointing. And we did some general predictions for The Walking Dead Season 9 and what we think we'll see. And this one was a big one from it. We've got some viewer questions from this one for the episode. And whether or not we think we could see a Walking Dead Civil War and we could actually see Maggie and the Hilltop become the villains for next season. That is assuming that Lauren Cohen actually re-signs with the series, and doesn't leave or something and they don't have to kill her off. But of course she is pregnant, as we might forget, considering this time. Not the actress, the character. Maggie is pregnant. So of course she's going to have her baby. She's going to have all that stuff happening. We'll probably have a time skip here. So when we come back in Season 9, she probably will have given birth to her baby. And I'm thinking Sadiq could probably stay there as a result. And you've got kind of a mixture here between the Hilltop and Alexandria. You know, the question being, how many people will come back to Alexandria to live there permanently, and how many people will actually stay at the Hilltop and kind of become part of Maggie's group. So it's interesting, right? What is Maggie going to do? And this scene is really strange. I watched it back a couple times now. And it's pretty funny. First of all, it reminds me of like one of those old school. Some people compare it to The Godfather here. Nexy says, I feel like I'm watching The Godfather every time I see a scene with Maggie at her desk. And that's true. It reminds me of 89 Joker, Jack Nicholson Joker, when he's like, wait till they get a load of me. Something like that, as they're just like sitting there and you've got like, the villainous like look and everything. And then Daryl walks out from the back and it's all dark and stuff. He's like, yeah. We're going to get him. And then Jesus in the middle is like, honestly, it's a bit comical if you watch it back and you watch it with a new lens and you check it and you're like, I know what they were going for here. They're going for like maybe a villain introduction or it's sort of like, okay, going into the finale, people were wondering, are we going to see a cliffhanger in this finale episode for Season 9? And we didn't really get a cliffhanger. We didn't really have too much with the Whispers. There was some, but there wasn't a ton. We didn't see Heath walk in or somebody like that walk in with a skin on or something. But there was a little bit. But the biggest probably cliffhanger-y thing that was in it was the question of Maggie, Daryl, Jesus, the Hilltop. They're going to take their time. They're going to prepare. And they're going to, I guess, seek revenge. Or Maggie's going to go after Negan and Rick and Michonne get in the way. Too bad? I don't know. And a lot of it harkens back to just how strange of a scene it was when Maggie's like screaming about Glenn and stuff, and I think it's Michonne who's holding her back, and Rick's like, save him, and she just starts screaming, like wailing, right? Which is, it's within character. It's not, we saw Glenn all throughout the series, so we get it too, and a lot of people are on Maggie's side with this one. They're like, how does this make any sense? And I hear what you're saying for sure. You have basically all these saviors that are killed off. Even earlier in the episode, when the fighting's going on, Rick and the others just shoot down all those saviors there that had the bucket head zombie things, if you guys remember near the beginning, that Negan sent in on purpose to just sacrifice mostly. With that, they just kill them all. Morgan kills one that's kind of pleading for his life and everything. By the end of the episode, they start to warm up to the idea of allowing them to surrender, and the rest of the saviors do surrender, and they win, basically. Survivors win. But it is kind of strange that Rick allows Negan to live after he's already, sliced him up, right? And then after that, he, kind of forces them to save him. It's pretty strange. And a lot of viewers are really on Maggie's side with this one. They really are like, and rightfully so. You know, it makes sense, right? Why would you save Negan, and why would you do that? Because the whole war really was fought about Negan, and he's super dangerous. Too dangerous probably to be left alive in case he's able to somehow reassume power or do a governor situation. If he was able to escape, head out there for a year in the zombie apocalypse, he might come back with a big ass group and a tank. So he's pretty dangerous to be left alive. And the governor, that happened with the governors. So you got to see it there to think like, no, you got to kill him because you can't let him live. So how far are they going to take this in season 9? Is this going to end up being a topic of a civil war? Like she demands that they hand over Negan, they refuse, and she starts killing people. I don't think so. And personally, I think if they wanted to do that with her, Lauren probably would not resign if she knew that. So if she got a chance to look at the script and say, okay, show me what you have for me next season, because maybe she's not feeling sure. Maybe that's why she hasn't re-signed yet, is because she's like, are you guys going to turn me into a villain? Because I don't want to be a villain, and I don't know how this feels, and I don't know if I'm okay with this. So maybe that has something to do with her not re-signing for the series in season 9. We'll see what happens with that. But as far as the predictions go, like I mentioned in yesterday's video, I think it'll be there. It'll be something that we see. It'll be the topic of some, turmoil between, be a bit of a tumultuous relationship between Rick and Maggie. Some friction there for sure, based on Rick's decisions. And Maggie kind of playing along, biding her time until the time is right to strike and try to take Negan out. And I think that's probably what we'll mostly see. Daryl being on her side, though, it does complicate things, because you can send Daryl in at nighttime or something, and Jesus is really sneaky too. But I almost think that Jesus is a mole in this situation. So I think that Jesus, even though he's there and he's like, what should we do, Maggie? And so the scene is kind of ridiculous. He probably shouldn't have used her name there in that scene. It just felt strange. Or his response too. Jesus' reaction to me felt weird, because the whole episode and the whole season he's been talking about how we don't have to kill everybody. It's okay. We don't have to do it. And then Maggie tells him, I almost want to think like, if this was for real, Maggie probably shouldn't tell him, because she probably knows that he's really against killing, and that including him in this inner circle is probably not a good idea, because he's going to tell Rick, and I don't think he's going to go for it anyway. He might not tell her right away. Maybe he's just kind of playing along because, he knows how angry Maggie is. He can see the conviction in her eyes, and he knows what obviously happened with Glenn, her husband, and everything, and we certainly do. So for him, maybe it's just like he's going to play along, but then he's going to go tell Rick next season in season 9. So I don't think it's going to break out into all-out civil war of the Hilltop versus Alexandria or anything like that. I don't think Maggie will become our governor for season 9 or our Negan for season 9. I don't think so, but I think it could be something that could be a mini arc. Like you could use it for a 4-episode fold or a couple episodes there, but I don't think you can use it for a half season. I don't think you can use it for a whole season, certainly. It's something that's there. It's kind of a left open type of door for next season for them to use, I think. But I don't see Maggie as a hardcore villain this season. And some people could look at it as they're on Maggie's side, so she's not a villain. But Rick is the one who's kind of lost as a result of what happened with Carl there, and that Maggie is in the right. So for sure, leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think about this one, where you're at with this one, and how you feel about Maggie kind of being a villain with Daryl and the others. And also people saying it doesn't make sense for Daryl to let Dwight go if he wants to kill Negan. Yeah, strange stuff for sure. So leave the comments. Let me know what you guys think about this, about this one here, and, what they're going to do with Maggie next year. Leave the predictions below as well. So I think that was the most common kind of question after seeing the Walking Dead Season 9 premiere. We'll get into some more Whisper stuff for sure in the next couple days in that, so heads up for that as well, guys. So Lindsey Gutierrez said, Trev, do you think Maggie could become the next villain? She seems super ready to take Rick and Michonne on at the end of the episode. So, yeah, I think it's all natural. I see her as kind of maybe a mini villain at best, and most likely just as kind of, like I said, an offshoot there, part of the story while they're getting ready to introduce the Whisperers. So we'll see how it adapts in the TV series. But no, I don't see her as being a major villain in The Walking Dead. Reset Button says, best part of the episode was Maggie's heel turn. It's true. I like that too. Yeah, especially the background sound and everything. It's pretty easy to see what they were going for there. Ominous and dark, right? And scary. Kekkus Vult says, That zombie herd is probably the Whisperers, LOL. And yeah, that's true. We'll probably do maybe tomorrow or Thursday a video where we go over things you missed or that kind of thing. A lot of it's Whisperer stuff. Little hints, stuff like that. Maybe the border being marked. Where they were fighting actually was just on the Whisperers border. And that herd we saw is probably theirs. In the comic book series, they have a huge zombie herd, and most likely that's theirs right there. So as big probably as the season 6 zombie herd we saw, or bigger. Yeah, probably even bigger. In the comics it was bigger. So well, actually the comics didn't really have a huge cavern or a huge zombie herd like that for that part that we saw. It wasn't that big anyway as it was in the TV series. TV series made it bigger. They said 30,000 plus. So I don't know if the Whisperers have 30,000 plus zombies, but Rick said he'd never seen one that big, and he's seen some pretty big ones. So with that one there, No Way Out for sure. Douglas Pasz says, RE, awkwardness and scene with Maggie. There was only anger and no shock at the decision. An initial reaction of shock that Rick would change his mind since their last talk would have felt more natural. It was, the whole thing was strange. Also, spatially, the distance when Rick said save him and like this, that kind of deal, and how far away she was. I felt like it would have made more sense, and what they probably should have done, at least this is what I would have done, is have Rick, pick Negan up, and yes, I know he's got to carry him around. Pick him up, bring him up to everybody else, and then lay him down in front of everybody to show that he had just won. So he was the new alpha, to show that just like with Simon versus Rick before in episode 15, Simon versus Negan before in episode 15 in their fight to the death, Rick versus Negan now. Rick has won, so he has taken up the mantle as the leader of the overarching of everything, but including the Saviors too, because he's defeated Negan one-on-one in that fight, and then he lays Negan down, and then he tells some to save him, and then Maggie, being a little bit away, then she freaks out, comes forward, and Michonne grabs her, or somebody grabs her, and then they're arguing closer, like face to face, right? I think would have just made more sense. But that's me. What can you do, right? Whatever. Robert Collins-LaPointe says, Heath, a bunch of times. So, question mark. They lied. They lied, man. They said he was coming back. Clearly, he did not come back. They said he was coming back this season, and he didn't. Does anyone care? Kind of a little bit. There's a little bit out there. It's not at Morales level, but it's there. It's something like where people were like expecting to see him. At least Sherry had a note, right? Heath didn't have anything, and we haven't seen him yet. But I'm expecting season 9 early on. Yeah, we got to see Heath, and yeah, he'll probably be with the Whisperers. And then you'll also have Sherry probably be tied into the Whisperers too, and it will make a lot of sense as to why they were missing. They were over there on the other side when they were fighting and doing. They were over there with a huge zombie pile, right? So, yeah, exactly. And then Stephen Gooden says, so I actually really like the finale. I think The Walking Dead doesn't need to become a gun show to have good episodes. The show surprises us when they kill off people, and it surprises us when they don't. This show puts into perspective how the first 8 seasons were really Carl's seasons, and this ending was his payoff. So that's a good. I like what you're saying there, Stephen, or Stefan. And it's true that, that's very true that it did. And there was other things about the finale that were really well done, like that flashback sequence with Rick and Carl. That was over and above. They went over and above. They didn't have to do that. They could have just done the episode without any of that. And they did. They put that in. They put the Jared Ghost one that was really cool. I even forgot to mention the review. There was so much stuff with Fear as well and all that. But that was so sick when he's like, comes back from the grave and he's still talking shit to Morgan. It's like he's dead and he's still talking shit to people. This guy's a badass. He's a great villain. Annoying and all that stuff you hate. Easy to hate. Great villain for sure. Even trolling us even though he's dead, right? It was awesome stuff. So there's that. And you're right, man. It was a great payoff for Carl. It was kind of a final, kind of farewell to Carl. And this is really, season 8, even though it's all at war, it's also Carl's season. So that's really cool. And the last one will be from Sharp Striker, who says, Q&A, did you notice the symbol Sherry left on the letter for Dwight is the same one as the one on Alpha's belt buckle in the Walking Dead comic book series? Alpha is the leader of the Whisperers for everybody. It's the infinity symbol or symbol of rebirth or whatever, something something like that. I don't know. The swoop, the back and forth like that. Yeah, I get what you're saying, Sharp Striker. So yeah, I noticed that. I mentioned it in the review, and I just didn't know what to make of it because I do my reviews right after I finish watching the episode, so I don't have a chance to look back and check again. Sometimes, brains make errors, right? And I get to see mine live on YouTube in video form, right? So, so I wasn't sure how much to comment on it, but now that I've actually watched it again and I verified and everything, I wasn't seeing things. It was, in fact, a Whisperer Easter egg or an Alpha Easter egg. So could Sherry become Alpha? Could she just be one of the Whisperers? I tend to think she should be just one of the Whisperers. I don't think she should actually be Alpha, but that's a topic for another video as well too. Anyway, that'll be it for today's video, guys. Check out some of these others if you haven't seen them yet, and if you like this one, don't forget to thumb it up, share, favorite, subscribe at the bottom left if you're new. That's it for this one. I'll see you guys again soon for another video. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace. See you guys soon.